Okay, thank you for coming, everybody. And this is the very first town hall um, for the Immutable X community, and I hope it's not going to be the last. Looking forward to doing more of these with you and getting your view of how we're going. Now, what's the agenda for today? So this is all about how do we make the Immutable X community a better place where there's good vibes, interesting people, and we're doing something purposeful. So it's not about product, it's not about tech, it's all about you guys and making this a really nice place for you to hang out. And how can you also affect the destiny of Immutable X in whatever way we can? So I put in the outline of the things that I want to talk about in the events text channel, which is in the thread as well. There's three main things we wanted to talk about today. First is a look back on where we've come so far. To be fair, for people who have been with us for a really long time, since this started, I think I'd like to say that we've actually transformed a lot already from that very first version of the community. And next is we'll be talking about how can the Immutable X community overall contribute to the success of the protocol. Spoiler alert, it's a lot about education and active roles, but we'll get to that later. And finally, what are some of the initiatives we're pushing in the next few months? And of course, the things that we're going to be doing isn't limited to this. Part of the reason why we're doing this town hall is so that the community can chip in as well, share their views on what you think we can do to make this community a better place for you. So looking forward to hearing your feedback. I don't want to be talking a lot. Sorry, I don't want to be talking a lot today. I will try to make this as quickly as possible because I want to spend more time hearing what you think, and hearing your view on what we think we should do, your feedback on the plans, and if you want to contribute or not. So having said that, let's get going. First, the look back. So quick anecdote. Um, I don't know if people here remember, but way back then, I think that was 4 months ago, before the tokens even came out. This Discord in particular was not the most um, fun place to hang out, I guess, with regard to the community overall. I think the anecdotes that I remember from that time was, hey, is anybody here? Are any team members in the Discord? We're looking for help, and people were just fending for themselves. So it wasn't a very pretty picture. Um, but fast forward to today, we have actual people talking in the community. We have formal support in the community as well. Obviously, there's a lot of things to improve, but if you look at where we came from to today, there's been a lot of different changes that we've made, which I think is testament to a lot of the efforts that the community itself has done and the team has done to fix that. Now, a few things I think that were hallmarks during that time was number one, the token launch. I think one of the main things as a community that we worked on was how do we make it a launch that everybody could get behind. I think a specific thing that we were looking at were the whitelists. How do we get whitelists to the entire community? And then second, the play to earn reward program as well. How do we make that a fair slash fun experience for everybody to get their tokens before we did the launch as rewards, essentially. And today, we're in a very much better place compared to then. The tokens are out. The community, at least, is talking and working and giving feedback to the community and to the team. And obviously, there's a lot of things to do, but at least we're doing a lot of feedback and back and forth and improving things step by step. So I'm personally very proud of where we've come from and very thankful for the patience of the community coming from that kind of experience. So I have very high hopes on what we can achieve, given that we came from such a difficult position, but now in a pretty good position. And I think in the next few months, we will do a lot to make this a community that we can be really proud of, to do something very interesting and purposeful for everybody. So that's my quick look back. If anybody remembers that, feel free to put it in the chat as well. Looking forward to seeing some OGs and your thoughts of that experience at that time and how we've transformed to today. Having said that, there are things that, sorry, let me just look at my notes. There are things that we are working towards right now. We've heard a lot of feedback from the community on things that we need to improve on as well. For example, transparency and visibility on the roadmap. So you've seen the public roadmap, and that's just the first version of it. We definitely want to become more visible and transparent on what we're doing in the product team, and we're hoping to just iterate on that and make that better and better. Other things that we've been doing is Tech Thursdays and AMAs. So that's been a very conscious effort from the team as well, that we bring something interesting and new and updates coming from the team, the core team itself, every Thursday or every week, so that you do get some visibility on what's happening behind the scenes. We're hoping to do more of that as well. So if you have any feedback or any things that you want to know about the core team, please give feedback to that so that we can make that even better and better as well. And there's two things I wanted to give an update on as well. Again, transparency and visibility is something the team has always been trying to give more to the community. So we want to create an ecosystem update, like a monthly update on what's happening within the company. So I'm working on that with the team to give more visibility on what's happening in the product, the roadmap, even the GTM team and the BD team. What are the things they're building? Who are the people they're talking to? Whoever they can say at least. So that's upcoming. And finally, a better token update. So a lot of people have been talking about this as well. How do you give more visibility on what's happening with the token schedule? What's happening with the token product itself? So that I'm working with the team as well to be able to create that visibility, create a more accurate view of what's happening with the tokens. So that's something to look forward to as well. Now, that's it for like a general look back on what's happening and what's happening right now. The next thing I wanted to talk about was what's the future of the Immutable X community and how can that plug into the overall goals of the Immutable company and protocol as well. So, quick question to everybody. Can anybody tell me what is the overall goal of the Immutable X protocol? If anybody wants to raise their hands or put it in the events text, would be great to do that, just as like a quick reminder. I hope nobody tells me that they don't know what the overall goal slash what is success in the Mutable X protocol looks like. Any takers? Any takers? King Steven, amazing. I would think that it's provide a stable environment for creative NFT projects, a global backend infrastructure, hundreds of millions of dollars in volume daily. Exactly. I think all of those are pretty aligned, but yes, we are a business. It is basically to grow volume because that's how you measure the success of the protocol of NFT trading, at least. And if you think about volume, what does that mean, right? So the success of protocol equals volume. And what is volume? Volume is essentially supply and demand. How do you grow supply and how do you grow demand at the same time? Now, it's very simple. Let the core team handle the supply and the B2B. That's what we've been doing very, very well. If you've noticed, all the partnerships, all the efforts of customer success, etc. Getting that strong partnership and network is like the core of what we can do really well as a company. But that's the supply part. Now, you got to think about how do we get the demand then? How do we get more traders in the protocol? And if you look back with the strategy that Robbie and everybody else in the company that have been talking, where has it been pointing to? And a lot of it is in gaming as a focus. Obviously, that's not the only thing that we're doing, but gaming is like a really big thing as part of our strategy. And to be able to get mainstream gaming on board, that it's very easy to see that we need to be able to get the mainstream people on board as well. Like a lot of the growth that's going to come, to grow the protocol and grow the NFT industry in general is to be able to get the mainstream people on board and trading NFTs and using Immutable X as well. And this, I think, is where the community comes in. How do we get the mainstream to think, NFTs and Immutable X is one and the same? And that's exactly what we need right now. To be able to get that mainstream crowd on board and understand what is Immutable X doing, what is the protocol all about, why should we support Immutable X and Immutable X projects. With that in mind, what do you think are the barriers to get these people and get the mainstream people on board with this mission? I see a lot of people put messaging in the text. If people want to come up to the stage, please do raise your hand. Happy to have a discussion as well. But let me just go through the text too. So yeah, so people are already talking about it, right? Like, what are the barriers of getting mainstream people on board? A lot of it is gas fees, understanding what wallets are, buying into it, mainnet versus L2. What are these things? These are so technical. You can't expect your auntie or uncle or grandma or people who don't know the tech to try and understand and wrap their head around this. And that's a really big barrier to get mainstream success for the protocol and for NFTs in general. So, which is why I've been hinting all week that one of the main things that we can do well is to create a good education system so that people understand what are NFTs, why is Immutable X going to be the winner NFTs, why should people support the protocol in itself. A lot of people don't understand this, and I think even within the Discord and community that we have right now, there's still a lot of people who don't really quite grok why Immutable X is so interesting, what is the tech, and how we're even going further than the tech. And I think that's something very interesting to work on with the community so that we can spread the right information and that people can get behind what exactly we're doing here and be fans and supporters and obviously advocates as well. So, any questions? Let me see if anybody's raising their hand. Yes. Oh, somebody was raising their hand. Awesome. King Stephen, how can I? I think the invite has been sent. Feel free to come up. King Stephen? Da, da, da. No? Okay, that's okay. Let's just continue then. So let's do a quick recap. We want to make the Immutable X protocol successful. The key opportunity to make that successful, at least for us, is to get the mainstream on board. And to get the mainstream on board, there's a lot of education needed. So invite to speak. Oh wow, there's suddenly a lot of people. Let me start with Jesus then. Hey Jesus, hello. Welcome up the stage. You're muted right now. Feel free to start chatting. I'll also invite other people to speak.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you, Jesus.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I think it's very, very exciting what IMX is doing for the NFT space. I had a question, particularly around the GameStop partnership. I think that's a really exciting initiative to bring new eyes to the platform. My question was thoughts around them immediately, selling the tokens and the misconceptions around that and why that caused a sell-off in the price. And I don't know, just future plans with GameStop or potential partnerships with Microsoft.
For sure. So I can comment on what happens with the tokens. Feel free to look at the official statements regarding that. But I can comment on why we're so excited with that partnership, right? And a lot of it is because, as I mentioned before, we want to hit the mainstream people, especially the gaming mainstream people.
Mhm.
And that is very much aligned to how we can bring that volume, how we can bring that user base, how we can bring more NFT traders within the platform. And again, like Stronghand said, success equals volume and volume equals supply and demand. So how are you going to get demand / supply? Just get more people. And who has the largest distribution of gamers, if not GameStop?
Yep.
Yeah, so I hope that answers your question. And thank you for asking a question.
Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, and Fishon, feel free to
Hey, yeah.
ask. Go ahead. Ren.
So I was just wondering, with the new updates that you have on the service fees per exchange, will that be included for staking later on, or is it just on their own?
Yeah, so again, I'm not super technical, so take whatever I say with a grain of salt. We'll have an AMA with the tokens team next week. But yeah, so what do you call this? The sequence is marketplace fees, and then we're working on protocol fees next, and then after protocol fees, that's where we get to staking.
Deal. And you did mention that to GameStop deal was to get more access to gamers, but there's better options out there. Like GameStop has been a dying business for years now, and it got hyped because of the whole meme stocks moment. And we have like, what's that? Uh, something egg. Newegg. There's Newegg. There's a lot of options out there.
Mm.
Why go for GameStop, a business that has been clearly not really caring about themselves until recently? I know they're changing, but it seems like a dying business, to be honest.
I'm not sure if you were here when Alex was having an AMA, but to reiterate what he was saying, the team has been working with GameStop for a long time, and we've met with their team as well, and we're very bullish about what they have plans to do for the NFT business. So we believe it's a very strong partnership, and that's not to say we don't want to partner with others. Like if you just look at our marketplace strategy as well, we want to partner with all the marketplaces. We want to be powering all of them, right? So it's not something we're not going to stop with just one. I guess is the party line there.
Deal, yeah. Like I found out recently that there's some crypto gambling websites that do offer like EOS. Their platform runs on EOS mining, and I was wondering if you guys might want to consider that. It seemed like a good way to use your free services.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, again, we're not looking at just a few things. We definitely want to be the one powering NFTs in general, especially Ethereum NFTs. So yes, thank you. I mean, part of the reason why we're doing this as well, especially this town hall and getting the community involved, is how does the community help with the growth of the protocol? And if you have any ideas, any leads, any collections, even just like what was being suggested a while ago from Escomo, we'd be happy to work together to find a way to get the community involved in finding better leads and growing the protocol overall. So if you have contacts, Fishon, happy to work together with you and see what we can do with the BD team.
Deal, yeah. I appreciate you answering the questions.
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
that was it for
Awesome.
me. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Jesus, Vishan. I appreciate it. I'll put you back in the audience for now. Nijo, Ren, and King Steven, let's answer your question and then we can go back to the agenda.
Yeah, I guess I'm one of the new kids on the block. I'm not a programmer. I'm not really full versed in the whole crypto world, other than what I've learned myself over the last 2 years. What I can say though is what makes things like OpenSea and Looks Rare super easy. It's really easy to onboard. You got one currency to deal with, which is ETH, which is hard enough as it is for the mainstream. What is Immutable X going to do to be able to break into that segment? Never mind the grandmas and the young kids, because just to navigate from layer one to layer two and then buy another coin, which is IMX, even that's really complicated.
So if you've seen, this is a very interesting thing to ask the mainstream squad. I don't know if you've seen the AMAs that we had in our YouTube channel, but that's their main job. How do you prepare the protocol and the product for the mainstream. And some of the interesting things that they pushed forward already is MoonPay and Magic Wallet or Magic Link. And this is basically trying to abstract away these complicated wallet stuff that you see in crypto. So, for example, with MoonPay, you can use your credit card to buy crypto, which you can use in layer two. And then with Magic Link, rather than signing up for MetaMask, you can just sign up like normal with an email address. So this UI UX problem is something everybody in the space is trying to fix, and Immutable wants to be the best at it. And so you should just look forward to that.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're signing up with email, that to me is Web 2. If we want to stick on Web 3, plus we want to have our NFTs safe, we're going to need to be able to transfer those NFTs from layer 2 to our ledger or Tesos or whatever you've got, right?
That's a fair question. I don't want to spend too much time just because this is a different topic. But what I'll just have to say is we're at the phase of experimentation. Like, whatever we need to do to get the mainstream on board, we will explore because that's where the opportunity is. And whatever works, we will see what sticks. We have strong conviction of what we think is going to work, but at the end of the day, time will tell, and we need to keep experimenting and iterating on what the best solution will be to bring on that mainstream crowd. I hope that answers your question, and I'm sorry, but we have to move on. Thank you, Nijo. And yes, King Steven, finally. Hello. Sorry, King Steven, I don't think we can hear you. We will get back to you, King Steven. Can you speak now?
Yeah. Can you hear me? Sorry about that.
Yes. No worries. We can hear you now.
Thank you for your patience. I wanted to go back to your original question about getting people on board and boosting that demand. A lot of my friends, the problem I've been trying to get them involved in NFTs, especially like Gods Unchained and other IPs that involve Immutable X. And the big struggle I get is the purchasing of the coins and how every time you sign up for a wallet, you need your driver's license. And that is very awkward. It's not like you just pull out a credit card and buy something. And they also, don't want to put a lot of money into things either because of the security issues, like kind of what was mentioned before. There's no, two-layer authenticity to make sure that whenever a transaction occurs on the layer two, that it is legitimate. It's what you actually want to do. So I'd have seen the MoonPay. I think it's a little odd that MoonPay is set up to buy Ethereum and USDC, but not the Immutable X coin. I don't know why that is, but that does seem promising. So I'm just not sure if you guys have any plans for how you're going to be able to boost security on the layer two, or some way without having to give your driver's license and go through all of that and still be able to purchase onto the network.
Got it. That's a very fair concern. I think the main thing to think about there is let me answer a few of your specific questions. And so, for example, MoonPay and buying Immutable X tokens, I think that's on the way. Don't quote me on that, but something to ask the mainstream squad. I think there's working on that. As for the security, very interesting points. There's two answers to your question. One is these are very fair concerns, and you should definitely bring it up with the feedback channel when we talk to the mainstream squad, when we talk to the other product squad during Tech Thursday, because that's what it's all about, and they need to have it in view. We also want to be able to create better ways for the community to give feedback to the product team in general, not just during the Tech Thursdays, but also is there a better way for them to get involved day to day, talking to the community and giving feedback with demos and stuff like that. So we're definitely working on those kinds of methods. But yes, getting people on board and placating their worries is definitely something that we want to be able to do, and we want to be able to help you convince your friends to play Gods Unchained, go to Immutable X, etc. And you divide that into two parts, right? One is product and education. The product stuff, we need to give feedback, but the education stuff, we need to hold their hand and make sure they're successful when they're actually trying to go through the product and testing it and have a fun time while they do it. And I think that's where the community can play and we can work together to make it easy for them. Create videos, create tutorials, and stuff like that, so that it's not awkward for them to try this out. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think so. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks, King Stephen. Cool. And thank you everybody for asking those questions. This is great. I think that's exactly the type of discussions that we should be having, and we should be solving those problems together as a community. Now, what's the next step? So I wanted next to talk about is what are the initiatives that we're pushing in the next few months to help create this education and solve these problems that people are talking about, and work together as a community to be able to grow this knowledge and education across the communities as well. Um, and the same thing, like what Tyra said, how do you target the IMX adjacent communities? Exactly that. Like we're working with all these big partners, with all these amazing communities. How do we take them into the fold, get them engaged, get them excited about Immutable X? And a lot of that is just them being able to understand what exactly is Immutable X. A lot of it is hidden in definitions, technical stuff, and we need to make sure it's simple enough for people to be excited about. And I think that's one of the things that we really need to tackle as a community and work together to create content that will really engage these people. Having said that, let me share a few things that we are working on that we want to get people engaged, that we want to use to get people engaged and really educated about the Immutable X community. First is the first point on converting people into educated members. I don't know if people see this. Let me share this. Slide number 1, the event text channel. So this is a general overview of how we're thinking about moving people along education. So it starts with our large broadcast channels, so Twitter, Twitch, etc., getting a lot of people. We have 200,000 people, for example, on Twitter right now. How do we get them to join Discord, be educated, learn more about Immutable X, and really understand who they're following and why they should be excited about it? And once they're educated members, how do you get them to become contributors who, as you say, Tyrus, work with other community members and other communities adjacent to IMX and bring them into the community as well, but also create content, be evangelists in socials and stuff like that. So that's hopefully a quick overview of what we're trying to do. The next is roles. How do we get the community involved? How do we make it easy for everybody to understand what we're doing? Which is slide number 2. This is one of the things that I'm quite excited to roll out. The team has been working this week to introduce better roles within the Discord. If you see the chart, it's actually split according to level 1, level 2, and level 3 roles. The first level is just to make your lives easier. We want to create user roles and announcement roles so that when we post something, we don't tag everyone at here because I understand how disruptive that is. So we're going to ask you to enroll into the rules and announcements and news that you actually want to know. So if you only want to know about the product, then we will only tag a specific role for product updates. For people who want to know all the announcements, then there's a specific role for that as well. And then we'll tag you. So hopefully this saves your notifications. But this also helps us understand who exactly are the people joining our community. And then we can tailor the kind of content and thinking and information that we share to make it better personalized and tailored to the type of person and preferences that they want. And finally, level 2 roles is the educated, quote unquote, immutable. And that's where we send people into an education program or education portal so that they know about Immutable X, they know what we're doing, they know what we're talking about, and they understand how to help it grow. And only after they go through this program will they be on quote unquote educated role. And then finally, level 3 roles will be like, how do you contribute to the community? So can you contribute via content? Can you contribute via helping the community as a community moderator and stuff like that, so that people have a reason and a purpose to help the community grow. So these are roles that we'll be rolling out today, most likely. And it would be great if people start selecting the type of roles and announcement roles that they want, so that we don't bother you with information that you don't want to know anyway. And finally, content. So what is education without content? So slide number 3. Slide number 3 is a sneak peek of the Immutable X portal that we're going to try and experiment with. And the idea here is, if you're new to the community, we will ask you to go through this tutorial, a series of quests. And once you complete that, you'll get a small reward, and then that will basically mark you as a graduate or a educated member of the community. And the hope there is people understand it, people know the information about Immutable X, so that when they do go out and try to talk to other community members, other adjacent communities, and other people who don't know about NFTs, then they can talk to Immutable X and why it's great and why their friends should join Immutable X as well. And that is it. Those are the 3 main things that we are going to be pushing forward to the community in the next coming weeks. Really excited to get people involved with this program as well, which is why the very final thing that I want to share before I stop talking is basically the CTA. Like, what should we do next to be able to actually contribute to this goal? And that's essentially to, let me just get the links. Basically, sign up to your Discord announcement roles. So we will be putting that out later today. Sign up to what kind of announcements do you want to get and what kind of user type are you, so that we know who you are and what you like. And then sign up. Sign up to be a contributor. If you want to be the one pilot testing this Community X portal, if you want to share feedback on how you think we engage adjacent communities, how you think we can get leads like Escomo, if you're a writer or a designer, creating this learning portal or giving the portal a new look. Obviously, there's like a lot of brand and identity work that we can do with just the Discord, like a nicer logo, a nicer banner, an identity, a name even of what we call Immutable, the community. These are super exciting times where it's basically a blank slate and you can leave your mark to be able to define what the community, Immutable X community will be moving forward. A bit cloudy. Did the community get anything for contributing educational content, etc.? So if you're talking about will you get paid, probably not. We're not sure yet. Financial incentives, unsure at this point. But obviously, we do want to reward people who contribute. We want to recognize, number 1, people who are contributing content and helping out. Number 2, you'll get fancy contributor role and merch, maybe. I'm definitely very keen on giving people merch, so let me work on that. And it's very early days. I can't promise anything at this moment, but the only thing I can and am confident about is we're not asking you to just work and get nothing. Obviously, we want to reward you. Or what that reward is, we don't know yet. But looking forward to what we can come up with. So that's basically it. So just to recap, again, before I open the floor to questions, how will the protocol succeed? Volume. How will volume be driven? Supply and demand. Supply, we got you. Demand, we need the mainstream to really come in. And what are the main barriers for mainstream aside from product? And that's education, understanding what the brand is, understanding what we can do, understanding what the product is, and getting excited about the product. And that's something the community can really come together and help. You don't need to be technical to be able to do that. And with that in mind, the first few things that we are seeding to be able to move towards that goal of education is a very clear mission slash funnel of how exactly we're going to do this, moving from big social media channels that are broadcast to the Discord that will be our way of educating these community members who are interested, creating these roles so that we know who these community members are, creating these contributor roles so that we know who's interested to help with this kind of mission, and finally starting with a community portal where everybody who wants to know about Immutable X can just jump in, do some quests, get small rewards, and be excited about what they will figure out and understand about Immutable X, and hopefully finish that loop to become active members of the community as well, and then they will be the next wave to attract other community members moving forward. And the help that we need, in my view, is people signing up to become community contributors and defining this journey of education for the next wave of Immutable X community members. And that is it. Anybody else who wants to come up to the stage, ask questions, challenge the idea, even, super happy for people to do that too. Yeah, exactly. As King Stephen is saying, getting people to try is already hard enough, and we need to do our part to just try to make that journey easy for people. Is it videos, articles, um, some sort of way to get people the peace of mind and excitement to just try things? King Stephen, how much time commitment are you expecting from those who do sign up? I don't expect whatever time you can share. We're super grateful. It's not like we're gonna ask you to sign up for like a shift or anything like that, and holding you to that kind of commitment. We know that this is on a voluntary basis, so whatever you want to contribute, we're super happy to get that. Pep, hello.
Hi. I'm, I was wanting to, in relation to your point about getting people involved in the platform, I've been looking at the white paper and the 2% fee and trying to understand the rationale for, the 20% staking
Mm,
going to the staking pool. And also
mhm,
trying to understand what happens to the remaining 80% that goes into the foundation. Is there anything
mhm.
you can share with us on, how that 80% gets used in the foundation?
Sure. I'm not sure if everything I say will be 100% accurate. The best person to ask will be the tokens team, but to my understanding, 20% is taking the other 80% is just to make the protocol better. Or else, how else? Where else will it get the resources to make a better product? I hope
Okay,
that answers your question, Pep. Yeah.
sure. I guess it's a slight concern for the community that the
Mm,
80% will be enough, or if it's too much,
mm.
um, and whether you have to do another private sale to fund that. So I don't know if you
Oh, so
have
you're
thoughts on
saying,
that, and what is the cost line that you're working on, just to give the community here that's listening, comfort that you won't run out of funds, and maybe you have to change it from 80/20 to 90/10.
oh, okay. I thought so. I misunderstood your question. I thought you were saying, hey, the 20% for staking is not enough. You want it to be
I
more,
don't
but
know
you're
if it's
actually
enough
saying
or
the
if it's not,
reverse.
or if it's too much. I guess my
Got it.
question is, we
Got
have
it.
no visibility on how that 80% is being used, whether it's too
Mm.
much, whether it's enough. No one here knows.
Got it. No, fair point. And that's something we want to be better at in terms of like reporting and giving product updates. I believe in the white paper, we do want to get to governance voting at some point. So the answer, I guess my answer is I don't know yet. And we'll have to check with the product team, the tokens team, to understand better. But we're also working towards better visibility and getting to better reporting so that people do have visibility. And part of this education push is exactly that. What are the questions that people don't understand, and how do we get better at providing those answers to the community at large. So if you're interested in that question, I encourage you to just be a contributor as well, and then we can push towards a better reporting style or cadence so that we can get to a better answer too.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Pep. Tyrus, how are you?
Doing well, Nigel. Good to talk to you. Hey, so I think all these plans are great. One thing that I was thinking of, I feel like the biggest barrier for new players who aren't in the crypto space at all is just getting through the wallets and that kind of barrier. So I was thinking something along the lines of what like Coinbase does, where they do the little quizzes. You have to watch this, like, you watch a couple videos, take a short little quiz, and then you get like $2 or something like that. If you had something like that to kind of handhold them through that initial process of, I don't know what MetaMask is, what am I doing? This is too hard. If they know that they're going to get a reward at the end of it, they may be more willing to follow through. And then I know this is the Gods team and all the different projects are separate, but then you could even do the same thing for each game that's on the platform. Once they get through their wallet setup and all that, they can actually play the game. And then maybe if they, forge their first Gods card, they get a reward of, I don't know, some arbitrary number or something like that, just to get people through that tough process and get them rolling.
Yeah, I completely agree. 100%. I think that's also so Coinbase, yes, is an inspiration. If you look at the new Bankless Academy, they're also doing a similar thing with the Bankless journey. And yes, to your point, working with the different partners and customers that we have on the platform, it would be an amazing outcome if we could have like a tutorial or quest system where after they finish each quest, they get like one NFT, and those NFTs they can play in different games, right? And that would be an amazing way to not only advertise the different games in our platform, but also give people like small rewards while they're learning about the Immutable X platform and protocol in general. And so, yeah, completely 100% on board on that. And there's going to be a lot of work to get to that kind of outcome, but I'm looking forward to your help if you're willing.
Oh yeah, I'll be there.
Awesome. Anybody else that wants to ask questions? Let me check the events text channel. So, Gods on Chain. Sorry, I'm not sure where the questions are. I'm looking at the question marks. From Mish, so we have IMX obviously confirmed with GameStop, but it's not to be shown to be involved. Sorry, Mitch, I'm not super sure what your question is, but my understanding is, will we be involved with other exchanges? I guess what you mean is marketplaces, and the answer to that is yes. We want to be powering all the marketplaces. Who is leading the educational group? Well, that's us right now. Me and the community operations team. So me, Jelly, and Quelo will be doing it, but we're hoping a lot of the people in the community will be excited to hang out and help with that effort as well. Is Looks Rare Marketplace also looking to integrate to IMX? I don't know. Sorry, Strong Hands. I'm not sure what the answer there is yet. Do you have any plans for a future town hall already, or will the coffee time be regular town halls? Haven't really thought about when we do town halls regularly. I definitely want to do it in some regular cadence. Maybe we can start with, I don't know, start with once a month, or we try doing it more regularly than that. But we'll start with at least once a month and see what happens. Good to know, King Steven. Thank you. Okay, we're getting into product stuff. As much as I want to answer the product stuff, I don't really have all the context, so it'll be better to just wait for the respective product teams during the Tech Thursday to ask that. Or the ecosystem update, actually. I'll try to make sure that's in when OpenSea, when staking, and stuff like that. Okay, it looks like there aren't any questions regarding this program and the direction we're going. What are the next steps? Again, I will post the next steps. Please do sign up if you're interested in contributing. We will be rolling out the roles today, so watch out for that. Please sign up to your respective roles, and at the same time, please sign up to be a contributor if you're interested. Next week, the key thing that we'll be trying to do is to come up with like the first pass of the learning portal and the quests, to Tyrus's point, of these tasks for people to be quote unquote educated members. So we're looking for people who are excited to do a pilot test and give their view and give their input and also build stuff if you can, to make it a really cool and interesting learning program. Is there any need or roles for the community education? Yes, please sign up if you are interested, crypto. We will start very manually for now. So if you sign up to the form, they'll be in a spreadsheet, and then we'll just reach out to people who are interested, and probably create a group or something or a channel to talk, and then we'll go from there. The developer tools grant, Alexa bot. We are working on that. We just need to finish a few details. I think we'll either come up with that either maybe next week or the second cohort. Awesome. Thank you for people to come. Thank you for. Sorry, where are my words? Thanks everybody for coming to the town hall. Again, hope to be able to do this more often. If you're interested to contribute, please sign up. And it's not just for the education program. If you have ideas on how to do things around the community, if you like to design stuff, or like Escomo, if you're interested in finding leads for the company or the protocol, feel free to sign up as well. I believe there's a BD role in the sign up form. And let's work together for a program, because it is important to get more projects in the protocol. And yeah, if you have contacts, I don't see why we don't come up with a way to incentivize people to get more projects into the protocol as well. Cool. Thank you again, everybody. I'll just be hanging around. We still have time. If you just want to chat and hang out and ask random questions, feel free. Raise your hand. I'd be happy to put you up to the stage too. But I will stop recording. Give me a second.